pots have had their holes drilled into them. You don't need to be too paranoid about how big the hole is and what is going to happen. Is there going to be enough drainage? Because it's concrete, it is going to be nice and porous, so don't stress about that at all. What you do want to get this process 100% right is some good potting soil. Buy this from your local garden centre because this is going to ensure the success of your pots. I always add, just because I can and because I know it works well, just a good couple of handfuls of bone meal inside my potting mixture. Now you can never add too much of this. You can always, of course, add too little, but a handful into a bucket like this should be more than enough. I generally go with 3 or 4 because I like to make sure that my plants are going to get the best start possible. Then we're literally going to take 1 or 2 spadefuls and pop this into the bottom of our container. Now, for this container, I've chosen a Peperomia. Now, this would be an indoor container that I'd be planting, or it could go on your patio as well. Peperomias are great indoor plants, and they can even withstand large amounts of air conditioning because there are very few plants that can actually cope with that. You put an ordinary pot plant inside there, and it'll just wither away and die. And you'll notice that when you're walking around office complexes and that a Peperomia is one plant that will live. A really fun little plant, gorgeous kind of textures on its leaves and also on the underside, but tough as nails. There's some other varieties as well. This little guy over here, which is just also a type of Peperomia, but you'll notice it's got a much thinner leaf. They don't require too much water. They need medium light. So in other words, as long as there's a window somewhere in the room, you would be able to cope with this plant. It will be able to live. All you need to do is feed it once a week or whatever your liquid pot plant container says. So that's the plant food that you're going to be giving it. When these little spikes, which are actually their flowers, start dying away, all you want to do is get in there and just break them off like that. That's important. So we're going to pop this little oakie in here. Remember, we've only filled it up not even halfway. And when you take these guys out, just make a sign like that. Pop it around the neck of the plant. Turn it over gently, give it a squeeze, and hey presto, off it comes. Pop that little guy in there, grabbing your spade, and then literally hold up the leaves and just start filling in the edge. Just gently push down the potting soil, because remember the potting soil is it's got a lot of air in it, it's got a lot of air particles in it, so as you're doing that, it is going to sink down. You don't want to stamp it down hard, you just want to gently get it into the open spaces. Final bit, folks, always make sure you've got a paintbrush on hand, best thing that you can have, just to get off all the little bits. For a bit of contrast, which is going to be quite wild, I'm just going to take these little guys, pop them in around the edge. Pull the leaves back and you just smooth it down. And hey presto, here we go. Beautiful Peperomia in our gorgeous terracotta pot. And now that is a fine specimen to go inside anyone's home. So these are all the other pots that we've made, and now it's time to plant them all up. We've got a host of different plants over here. Garth, which one do you want to pot up?
I want to pot up this little one, Tanya.
Okay, little baby one.
Baby one.
You're taking the easy one, Garth.
Yes.
Right. I'd like you to put a little thyme plant inside this guy. This is a little dwarf, low-growing ground cover. As a potted plant, it's great because thyme really enjoys tough growing conditions. It needs lots of sun. It doesn't like all that much water because it's a Mediterranean plant. So, it's perfect in what we're doing. Yes, you're probably going to have to water it every second day because that's what herbs need in containers. If you failed with herbs in containers, it's for 2 reasons. 1, they didn't get enough sun, or 2, you did not water them enough. Of course, the other reason is overwatering. That's when you water them and they drown. I'm going to go with this awesome chili plant. Now, folks, these guys are seriously hot. Seriously hot. They start off purple, and the older they get, they then turn into the red, but they are seriously vicious, hey? So, and how do I know that? Well, if I break the guy, ooh, oh yeah, baby. Grab a bit of potting soil there, pop it into the bottom. Okay, and here goes my little baby in. There we go. You know, I often see people buying herbs and that at garden centres, and the question that I'm asked the most often is, should I just leave them in these little containers that I buy them in? And the answer is no. This is simply the pot that it grew in till this size. And from this size, everything does need to go into one size larger. And that even goes for your indoor pot plants. They can stay in this for a few months, but after that, you really do need to pot them on. And that is also one of the clear reasons for fatalities is that the plants get too root bound inside one of these little containers. As you can see, I mean, with that, look at all those roots, full of roots, which means you're going to have to water this guy every day. If you don't water it every day, or sometimes twice a day, because of the root mass and the size of the pot, they are going to die. So it is better to rather get them and move them on into a bigger pot. So that little red hot chili pepper can go there, and I'm going to get this guy. Garth, I think in there, I want this beautiful guy. That's an Echeveria, Black Prince. Beautiful, beautiful plant, gorgeous succulent. You pop him into there, and I'm going to use the sedum. Now, Echeverias, great plant, huge family of plants, come in many different guises and forms, some with kind of frilly leaves, other with flatter leaves. But what's most important with them is that they need quite a bit of sun. Garth, you can plant them on, and what I want to show folks is that how ruthless you can be with these plants. You can take all that soil off, literally just have some of the roots there and plonk him in, and he will be happy. He will grow because they're tough. So there we go. I mean, that's all you need. With these guys as well, remember we've shown you once before, you break a leaf off like that, just the leaf off, put it down like that, and a new little plant will start growing. They're dead easy. In the meantime, while Garth's busy with that, I'm going to plant this little sedum. This is an awesome sedum. It's called Gold Feather. Sedums are also tough as nails, great plants to use, and they're excellent in rockeries. They need full sun, very, very important. Pop them into there. Sedums are quick growing, really quick growing, great for the sun, can also cope with some frost, which is great for those areas where you live, where we do drop to minus temperatures. We're going to pop them in there. That's the one, thank you. Then just dust them off. Okay, my little sedum is in, and he's good to go. And Garth, to finish off your beautiful little Echeveria, a few little pebbles. Move it around. And wouldn't that make a really fine gift?